So
let's
when do we get to make Homestead the finale?
Well, I was just going to get into that. So we talked a little bit about how the race was unfolding, but one of the things, the overarching theme of this weekend, and I saw some reports that maybe you could already see on their website, the Homestead finale, Homestead being the finale or something like that, which I wasn't sure if that was confirmed or not. But the thing about this racetrack is it is the perfect stock car racing track right now in my eyes, especially at the 1.5 mile size, speed, tire fall off, lane choice. I don't know, outside of Kyle Larson, who probably has a massive advantage in his ability to run the wall here, although we've seen Tyler Reddick be just as good at it. It just seems to me like you have so much control of your own destiny at this racetrack that it truly, to me, especially in this next gen era where the cars are so close, the driver can still make a massive difference here. And to me, that is the perfect place for a championship finale. Now, also, I have a severe amount of bias because for all the years you and I went down there for it being the finale and all the years I watched it being the finale, and, I'm sort of nostalgic for that. There's also a bit of like this feeling with the season and how long it is in NASCAR where you start to get towards the fall and the races start to get cold in certain places. And then you go to Homestead, Miami, and it's warm, tropical, even in November. And it's just a great vibe. And sort of in a poetic way, the season starts in Florida at Daytona and it ends in Florida in Miami. I just think it's the perfect place for the finale. It should be where it's at. The crowd this weekend didn't look large, looked a little sparse in areas in the grandstands. That's not a good sign. But I think given the chance to be the championship finale, you could boost those numbers for sure, and it would be a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for it.
You just stole my heart.
What's that?
You're absolutely right. I agree with everything you just said. I love Phoenix, and I love Phoenix for the finale. I don't hate Phoenix as a finale championship race as much as I think everybody else does. And I also think Phoenix carries some of those same qualities that you described, where it's like end of the season, it's beautiful weather, it's a beautiful place. Maybe it's not tropical, but Phoenix is a beautiful market. But yeah, there's something about Homestead. It's 2-hour flight from Charlotte, tropical weather. I don't have to repeat everything you said. I agree completely. The one thing I wish about Homestead is, and this is maybe an impossible thing to wish for other than really, really old race venues, but I wish it was about 30 minutes closer to Miami.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one thing. And I would imagine that is NASCAR's justification for moving it from that market, that they, the Phoenix Championship Race, the racetrack is still kind of outside of Phoenix, but it's a little bit closer to the city than Homestead is to Miami. It's not horrible, but it's an hour drive. It's a solid hour.
Yeah.
If you're staying in Miami. So I do wish Homestead was a little bit closer to Miami, but I don't know. There was kind of a weird leak over the weekend that maybe seems like it might move back, but
yeah, I saw that. And I think there was a lot of people saying like it sounds like it will. There's a lot to figure out in terms of the funding behind that, and it sounds like the city can't put up the money, so they've got to come up with some other way to get creative. Whereas Phoenix puts a lot behind it. There's a lot of advertising in the airports and throughout the city when the championship finale is there, and they do a great job selling it out. I will say the facility at Phoenix is one of the top facilities in all of NASCAR. They did that huge renovation, and it just it definitely feels like a championship. Yeah, it feels like a championship finale. Homestead is not quite there, but with a little polish and spit shine, I'm sure it could come back. They could make it to that level of facility. I will say, like when you're there on a practice qualifying day for just Cup or for Trucks and Xfinity, that place does feel a little bit like an SCCA club race at times if there's no fans around and there's no like banners and stuff and advertising, which a couple times I referenced in the last 2 years being there like on the Friday before Cup gets there. And it's just like a ghost town.
Nothing's happening yet.
Yeah, nothing's happening. You're like, this is a little sparse. So
yeah,
I think they can.
But in terms of racetrack and market is perfect, right?
Yes.
Miami is amazing. Great market. One of the best in the country. Racetrack, amazing. Best on the schedule. But it could be lost in those details. because
Yeah.
where Phoenix lacks racetrack, it equals in weather, it equals in market, and it's obviously better than the promotion side. They've done a good job of executing.
Yeah. I think
If it was
go
real
ahead.
quick, if it wasn't Phoenix or Homestead, this is a fun hypothetical.
Where should it be?
Where should it be?
You got to think about weather, so you got to be pretty restrictive there.
It's funny when you put it that way that you do realize there aren't a ton of options.
No, there's not.
Vegas.
I was gonna say Vegas. Yeah, you could do Vegas, which would still be warm enough in November. Rain is not a huge issue. I mean, I think that's one reason Miami became a bit of an issue is the afternoon storms and the timing of when these races now run later in the day. Right. So you always run into that issue, like the 2015 Jeff Gordon's finale? We had a rainstorm.
Even Atlanta would be iffy to have in November.
Well, that would be cold.
Yeah, it just would be too cold.
Yeah, and you can't end at a super speedway. You can't do that. So you're kind of in a bind. I think Vegas is probably the only one. I see people that want to rotate it. I don't know if it needs to rotate as much as it should just pick a place. Be good.
Well, it's funny. It's you got my wheels turning now. It's like rotate it between where? Vegas, Phoenix, Miami.
Yeah.
I love how neither of us said Texas. Nobody dares to say Texas.
No. Talk about facilities. Need some serious spit shine on that one.
Is Charlotte too far north in November?
Charlotte could work. It could be cold. I think you also go there already when they have a big race. I like the idea that the championship finale is a place you also only go once. I hate when we're at Phoenix to start the year and everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna get ready for the championship. Gotta get ready for the championship here. Oh, guys, you're gonna learn something for the championship finale." I hate that. No. Just go to the damn place once. Like if it's the championship finale place, we only
clip
go
every
there
time
once.
you've said that on a broadcast.
Yeah. I don't. If you actually
Thanks, Marty. And yes, the Ryan Blaney and his team have been getting ready for the championship in November. They know that the notes that they're going to take home this weekend in Phoenix are going to be valuable notes coming back 9 months from now. Back to you in the booth.
Well done. You'll have to clip it. What do we need? That's it right there. Although I have not done that. If you go back and watch the CW broadcast from Xfinity last couple weeks ago, I would say
that's right, Jeff. And earlier I was talking to Justin Allgaier and his team, and they said that this is really just a test run for them in the championship weekend.
Sweet Jesus,
November.
Shut up. Shut up. I did not mention it once because I hate that. I can't stand it. I think it's the most annoying thing to hear. It's multiple-fold. One, I just think yes, there's some credence to a place that you run well at and you feel good about, no doubt. But the second part
I'm
is
taking this conversation everywhere. Can I just tell you another one that happened this weekend that made me? So somebody had a flat tire in the Xfinity race. I can't remember who it was. And Jeff Burton. I'm sorry.
Jeff Burton.
No, I'm sorry. Jamie McMurray.
Yep.
Said, well, you gotta go slow, don't rip out the crush panels and everything. And I thought to myself, how many times has that been said on a NASCAR broadcast? Well, the reason they're going slow with the flat tire is so it doesn't shred apart the fenders and the crush panels.
Yeah.
How many times has that been said on a NASCAR
broadcast?
Having
had a flat tire.
It has to keep being said too, by the way.
Well, you got to keep saying it because you get different viewers. You got to, hey, they say in TV, repeat your best stuff because there's always a different audience. The other thing is, it's funny you bring that up.
Practicing Phoenix. It's for the championship race weekend.
Shut up.
You got to get ready.
You just shut your mouth when you're talking to me. So when I was at Sebring 12-hour and I had that left front go down, I'm driving slow and they're like, "Hey, buddy, drive slower so you don't rip up the tire." And I'm like, I wanted to key the radio and be like, "Yeah, heard that every damn week for my entire life. You shut it. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me."
That's good.
All right. So anyway, I think we're in agreement. That would be a great place for a finale. Josh, I don't know where else you could go. Maybe Vegas. I can't think of anywhere else.
The Auto Club short track.
Or the Auto Club short track. Vegas would make sense, except once again, that's way outside the city. And you also, similar timing would run into F1 with their street course, which is just 2 or 3 weeks later. So I don't think you want to run into that. Like when we're there in October, everything there is about F1. They're already building the F1 track. Every bit of advertising and merchandise and all the hotels is all F1. So I don't know. You don't want to fight that.
It's crazy to think that in 2 years you're basically suggesting that F1 basically stole that opportunity from NASCAR to be able to use Vegas as a championship venue.
Yeah, until that craters falls apart. Now, if you use that as a chance to be there together on the street course, whoa.
Ooh, that would be good.
Ho, 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 ho. Except you'd be second fiddle, so now, I don't know. I don't think it should be a championship finale. If you're doing your championship finale, you got to be there alone. You got to be the top dog.
I think that we pretty much, we just determined, unless you can come up with a better option, that Homestead and Phoenix are the two championship venues. There are none. There are no other championship venues.
No. Can't go to Bristol.
Can't go to Bristol. Can't go to Daytona. Can't go to Talladega. You could go to Atlanta. But like, yeah, that's a stretch. People are going to complain about Super Speedway being a championship. They could take the restrictor plates off them and go to Atlanta for the championship race.
Hot damn. Now that would be cool. And it would be different.
We don't have to dwell on that. We're not going to Texas.
Nope. It's got to be an oval. It can't be a road course.
At least in our current frame of mind.
I mean,
it's not going to be Kansas.
Yeah, I think the closest I came up to was Darlington. But we go there so much already.
Championship racetrack, yes.
Yeah.
Everything else, no.
No.
Exactly.
Facility, big no. Yeah. If you've ever been to the bathrooms in the Xfinity Series garage, which have been there since probably before the Wood brothers started racing in NASCAR, you would know that that's not a championship level facility. Needs lots of help, lots of love.
Well, then maybe, hey, here's where the alternating is like, okay, then alternate it between Phoenix and Homestead. You got two great venues, East and West Coast. Let's just go back and forth. Great idea.
And don't go to it twice. If you're gonna make it the championship place, you only go there once.
Ooh, unless it's Homestead, you can go twice.
No,
we should race Homestead 6 times.
But Phoenix, yeah, and I know, but Phoenix actually basically sells out both weeks, so they definitely would go there twice. I don't want to hear about working for the championship. I hated when they were going to Chicago and it was the same tire as Homestead, and everyone's like, "This is a good test for Homestead." Like, shut up.